Rain chances continue as we head into your weekend forecast. Flooding is certainly possible. We'll break down what we know.
A sight to see in Whitley County. Normally it's the moon bow people want to see at Cumberland Falls, but right now it's the water overflowing its banks.
Just something to see. Something you don't usually see.
A whopping 6 times transportation officials have had to come out to Kentucky 1428 in Floyd County to deal with the slip in 2 months alone. Straight ahead, hear about the most recent one and why transportation officials are taking all day to get to it.
Plus a spectacle in the city of Harlan. The old city hall comes crashing down. Hear from those watching as a piece of history falls and what the plans are for the property.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
What seems like a never-ending pounding of rain took its toll today on small streams and rivers along with the hillsides. A viewer sent us this video a little earlier. It's of one slide on Highway 699 in Perry County. You might remember earlier this week a slide covered the entire road. That's just one of many slides we've heard about this afternoon. And now a big focus tonight is on the Cumberland River. It also flows into Cumberland Falls. Meteorologist Paige Noel is there. She'll join us in a couple of minutes. But first, let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Andrew Dockery to kick off our Severe Weather Alert Day team coverage. Andrew? Highway 550 is blocked a few miles before you get to Highway 15. We have a live look now at what the crews are dealing with there. As you can see, mud, rock, and trees have the road totally blocked at this time. It's unclear how long that cleanup effort might last. A sobering scene tonight in Floyd County. Take a look at this video from downtown Prestonsburg. You can see the roof of a building on top of several cars. One person died because of that. And now here, a new glimpse this evening from above. You can see how massive that roof was. And you can also see Mayor Les Stapleton and others checking out the damage. Now, that's where we began our breaking team coverage live with WYMT's Just in Case in downtown Prestonsburg. A matter of minutes. That is all it took for a storm to turn deadly yesterday in Floyd County. Now the cleanup is underway. This is some incredible drone video sent to us from a viewer this morning. It could take days or longer to reopen the roads in downtown Prestonsburg, now closed. There you can see a bigger picture of the damage not only on the ground below, but also to the building where winds blew off the roof and onto the vehicles below. One man died. Here's what Prestonsburg Mayor Les Stapleton said today about the cleanup efforts.
If everything works as planned, there'll be some change to the front of it, the facade, but after that, structurally, on the inside, it's sound. Try to get it cleaned up. I mean, that's what it all boils down to. Get it cleaned up, get the street open back up, get things back to normal. Normalcy's great.
Now tonight we are also learning more about the man killed. 61-year-old Michael Coleman was from Pike County. Moments ago, WYMT's Just in Case talked to his family. He joins us now live. Justin? Return our attention to the Cumberland River. Now this is what Cumberland Falls looked like earlier. The river in Williamsburg sits at 25 feet right now. It's expected to hit a final crest of 30 feet this weekend. We continue our team coverage with WYMT's Phil Pendleton from the Falls. In jails across the nation, there are issues many workers and inmates alike are facing, including overcrowding and understaffing. But there is another problem jail workers have to worry about: contraband. WYMT's Connor James joins us now with a look at what one jail is doing to stop that. Connor?
Steve, it's a whole system and almost an economy under one roof. Contraband can make inmates hundreds and thousands of dollars while they still sit behind bars. We've done our research and we cannot seem to find specific statistics on how much contraband gets into jails on a daily basis, but for one jail in our region, the problem became a daily struggle. Now, Steve, it's actually kind of crazy to see all the ways people have tried to sneak drugs into the jail, from prosthetic legs to even, people drilling holes in the side of the building to get that contraband in. in.
Now, are drugs the only problem?
Now, actually, drugs make up a big portion of it. They're number 2 and 3 on the list, but actually number 1 on the list is, tobacco products. We'll have much more coming up at 11 tonight. It's a much more in-depth report on what kind of goes on inside these jails.
All right, Connor, thank you very much. A true mountain boy. That is the headline tonight. A breathtaking ending to what rescuers feared would end in heartbreak. Here is the picture capturing the hearts of people across the nation. 22-month-old Kenneth Howard being packed out of the hills by rescuers alive. To say it is a happy ending is quite an understatement. We begin our breaking team coverage with WYMT's Justin Case live. He's near the area where they found him. Justin?
Now check out this video. This is actually shot from one of the officials out searching for Kenneth. He shot this on his cell phone. So this is moments after Kenneth was found and brought to the open area where the medical helicopter. Steve, now just moments ago, we actually talked with Kenneth Howard's family members, and we talked to them just moments ago. So take a listen to this, and we'll continue our coverage.
Disbelief for a while till they told me it was sure him and stuff, and I seen a picture of it, and I said, that's my boy. Tickled me to death. Best thing ever happened to me in my life.
It's been difficult, but I never did give up because I had faith. And I know that God is with us because we wouldn't have found him.
So, Steve, we asked officials what's next because you look around here, it's an empty field, but it wasn't that long ago, just a couple hours ago. There were tons of vehicles, mobile command centers, ATVs. I mean, there were horses brought out today. This field was packed, but we asked Kentucky State Police what's next, and they say the investigation continues. They still want to learn how Kenneth ended up way up in the hills, way up on a densely wooded cliff about half a mile from his house. And they say that they're not sure if Kenneth can talk or communicate. They're going to let him get treatment at this pediatric hospital, and then they're going to try to communicate with him to see how all of this happened. But we're going to continue our coverage, and we'll also have more coming up tonight at 11. Steve?
What a day. Justin, thank you. Let's recap all of this for you quickly. Kenneth went missing on Sunday, so it's going on 72 hours. They found him about 1/3 of a mile from his home. He braved steep terrain and the cold temperatures. The 22-month-old does suffer from dehydration and is obviously a little hungry. But other than that, he seems pretty healthy. Now we wanted to know how he could have possibly survived so well out there. We talked to a local pediatrician this afternoon about what he might have gone through.
Those elements, it can put the body through frostbite, actually, especially if you're in water. This is amazing. This is really good.
Connor James is in our newsroom, and Connor, you sat down and talked much more in depth about what the boy went through with that doctor. What are the key takeaways?
Steve, doctors say what took place after the child was found seems to be just standard protocol, but when you think about it, the boy could have easily fallen off a cliffside, or if he would have been cut up severely, doctors say he could have suffered a serious infection, let alone the fact that he didn't have food or water these last couple of days.
Well, you just mentioned water. Most people can't go 3 days without it. How was this boy just dehydrated?
A miracle. So in talking with Dr. O'Rourke, she says kids can actually go a little longer without water than adults can due to how their bodies save water. All in all, Steve, this is just truly a miracle.
A miracle used by many people today. Thank you very much, Connor. Well, Paige Noel joins us now, and Paige, let's talk about the weather elements over the past few days, particularly this morning. It was pretty chilly out.
Yeah, this morning was actually the coldest conditions Kenneth probably went through. Let's go ahead and take a look at those temperatures. So we're about in those low to mid 40s early.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
I do everything in my power to get them out. I don't have a lot of money, don't come from a lot of money. But I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of good-hearted people that we're going to get them out one way or the other.
That's Cumberland Mayor Charles Raleigh. He says he is willing to bail Black Jewel miners out of jail if it comes to that. Dozens protested all night and all day. They are keeping a train from hauling off coal mined where they once worked. Those miners have went weeks without pay, health benefits, and access to their 401ks. For more on the heartache and struggles, let's begin with WYMT's Will Puckett covering day 2 of the protests. Will?
Steve, this is one of the shirts. that's being made, handed out at no cost to the miners. It's just showing what's happening now. A little bit of a developing situation here, not as far as a train moving, but right down these tracks where those miners are walking up is a black bear mother and her cub. It's been a little bit of a reprieve from what has been a situation that is weighing on so many families. For now, live in Harlan County, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
Tonight, lawyers and coal executives try to cut deals to take over Black Jewel coal mines. Insiders tell us multiple bids were placed, but specifics are still not known. This is all playing out at a law office in Cincinnati. WYMT's Connor James tried to get in this morning, and now he's outside with what we are expected to learn in the coming days. Connor?
Yeah, Steve, inside the building behind me, the fate of those Black Jewel mines is being determined. We did hear that this auction could go well into the night. We don't know if a deal has been made yet. And today marks exactly 1 month since Black Jewel filed for bankruptcy and those miners found they were out of the job. Now, we've been at those protests since the very beginning. Will Puckett's there now and has that part of the story. Will?
Yeah, Connor, this entire scene right here is for miners like Jeff Willig. Jeff is a miner at the Clover Lick 3 mine. He and his wife have 6 children. 2 of them have autism. And in the midst of all of this, they're in the process of moving to a new home that is now more affordable.
Now tomorrow there will be a 5K to raise money in Letcher County. Registration begins at 5 at the Recreation Center. Black Jewel's next hearing is on Monday, as Will alluded to, in West Virginia. Plans are being made to get miners to that hearing in Charleston.
With Christmas just hours away now, people are hitting the roads for holiday destinations. One of the busiest highways in our area is always I-75. WYMT's Lacey Roberts is there live tonight with more on road conditions and projections for this year's holiday travel. Lacey?
Steve, I have seen cars from all across the East and Midwest today. AAA estimates more than 115 million people are traveling for Christmas and the New Year. Now that is the highest projected number they have given in more than 20 years. I-75 is right behind me, and deputies say this is a busy time for this time of year, and I talked to people trying to make it home for the holidays.
Well, let's get you set for what to expect when you hit the roads this Christmas. For those hitting the road this weekend, you can expect to pay more at the pump than Thanksgiving and this time last year. Last month, gas was about 9 cents cheaper, sitting at $2.34, while last Christmas, the average in Kentucky was $2.14. Right now, you can see the average is $2.43. On this map, you will notice the closer you get to Interstate 75 and the Cumberland Valley, gas is cheapest. The good news, AAA expects gas to drop as we go into the new year.
Kentucky are going better than they ever have. Do you want a better Kentucky? Do you want a better opportunity for your children and your children's children?
Are we ready to fight for teachers? Are we ready to fight for health care? Are we ready to fight for working families? Are you ready to beat Matt Bevin?
How badly do you want it? That's the question. How badly do you want it?
Made over 38 stops, and out there we see a hunger for change.
Welcome into your election night headquarters, and it is the Bluegrass Showdown.
That's right, Steve, and no matter how you look at it, tonight will make history in Kentucky politics. Incumbent Governor Matt Bevin faces tough opposition in Democratic challenger Andy Beshear.
At the end of the night, Governor Bevin could become the first Republican to win consecutive terms as governor.
And while Steve and Andy Beshear could become the first father and son to hold the state's highest office, to begin our coverage, WYMT's Will Puckett is with the Bevin camp at the Galt House in Louisville. Will?
Neil, a big difference this year as opposed to years past. Both candidates really put a heavy focus on Eastern Kentucky.
Steve, they really did. Many believe the path to victory lies here in Eastern Kentucky, and how well Andy Beshear finishes the night in Jefferson and in Fayette County.
So if Beshear does better than expected here in the rural areas, that could spell some trouble for Governor Bevin.
Right. Now let's dig deeper into the primary numbers. Governor Bevin faced strong opposition here in the East in May. State Representative Robert Goforth carried much of eastern and southern Kentucky. You can see Goforth there shaded in yellow. Now take a look at Andy Beshear's primary map. House Minority Leader Rocky Adkins carried pretty much all of eastern Kentucky. Now, Beshear won the primary by a strong showing in Lexington, Louisville, and western Kentucky. The key tonight, Beshear must find a way to rally early here in the mountains. Then he needs to do better than Jack Conway did in 2015 when Bevin's challenger 4 years ago tallied about 58% of the Louisville metro vote and 55% of Fayette County.
A tough decision today for voters in the city of Inez. Their votes will decide whether to dissolve the city government. For a preview of what to expect, we have WYMT's Marianne Fletcher in Martin County as she follows those results. Tonight, the search is over for a man wanted for murder. Police arrested Anthony Lewis this morning. He spent a little more than 24 hours on the run. This is video of him walking into the Hazard Police Department for questioning earlier today. Police say he beat and killed Marlena Holland in the Bobby Davis Park. Investigators say tips helped them find Lewis near the old Big Creek School. We'll have more on his troubled past in a moment, but first tonight we're learning a little more about the victim, Marlena Holland. WYMT's Mason Marie is in our newsroom with that part of the story. Mason? Today we also dug deeper into Lewis's criminal past. Yesterday we told you about his convictions in the 1990s. Now, he received a hefty 50-year sentence at that time, but got out of prison on parole in 2017. Now, just a few months later, police say Lewis raped and robbed someone. He was set to go on trial in that Leslie County case in just a couple of days. He could have actually been in jail this past weekend. However, a judge approved his release on his own recognizance. As for conditions of that release, he needed to show up for any scheduled hearings, not be in possession of guns or knives, and commit no crimes. This morning, the judge revoked Lewis's bond.